Good morning. Let's do some Tai Chi. Let's start with the good old bear, because can't do the bear too much. Feel that it's the turning that actually drives everything. So the turning causes the shifting into the leg that you're turning towards. I turn to the right, that makes me shift to the right. Turn to the left, that makes me shift to the left. But it's the turning that's first, not an external shifting. The turning is what makes the arms move. So you feel that turn work its way through the body out to the hand. And that's why the hands swing. Versus trying to move your hands through the air. And then working through the body, make sure you feel that the rear crown of the head is suspended. So that'll put your gaze down slightly, 15 degrees or so from the horizon. You're not looking down at the floor. You're also not thrusting your chin out and looking straight at the horizon. Let the head rebalance so the rear crown points up. And then feel like you've just been lowered to the ground. So there's space through the whole body, hanging down from the head. You'll feel that first in the neck. So really letting the neck and the jaw relax and feel like there's space in there as they hang. And then feel it all the way down through the body. Rear crown of the head as if suspended. Open body hanging down from it. Feel your feet on the ground. Find the tripod in each foot. And observe that the 3 points of the tripod stay equally connected, even as the weight pours in and out of the foot. No rolling around at all in the feet. Find the bubbling wells in each foot. And feel that they are open to the earth. So the feet are quiet, resting on the earth, bubbling wells open to the ground. Now feel your dantian, your center. Let your awareness rest down there. Heart-mind rests in the dantian. And watch the shifting and turning from your belly like you're a lighthouse and there's a beam shining out from your belly button that goes back and forth across the room. And really feel your abdomen. Feel any tightness or tension you're holding in the gut, in the sides, in the lower back. And let that all go. Mind rests in the Dantian. Feel your arms moving through the air. Moving through the air as if it had the substance of water. So we're not in a vacuum. The air is all the way around. You'll really feel it against the heart of the palm of the hand that's swinging in front of you. You don't have to reach for the air. It's right there. And feel the hand moving through the air. Air parting right in front of your palm. And you can feel it with in the heart of the palm of the hand that's swinging in front of you. Then notice that even as the hand falls and swings back, you can still feel it moving through the air. Easiest to feel on the full hand as it swings, but feel it also as the hand drops back behind you. And then try to perceive it across the whole arm. So as the hand is full, you'll feel it on the inside of the arm. Moving through the air as if it had the substance of water. And we've been doing this long enough now so you can become aware of any tension. Relax the whole body, letting go of any place that you're holding. Neck, shoulders and chest, midsection of the torso, abdomen, lower back, butt cheeks, hip joints, top of the thighs, thighs just above the knees themselves easily changing, easily moving, letting go. The calves relaxing, ankles open, feet soft on the ground, whole body relaxing. Rear crown of the head as if suspended, open body hanging down. Bubbling wells open to the ground, feet quiet. Mind is calm, resting in the Dantian. Moving through the air as if it had the substance of water. Feeling the air right in front of your hand and your arms. And relaxing the whole body. Another swing or two. And take a break. So we've spent the last class working on saying from the classics to seek the straight in the heart of the curve, to from within something that is rounded, moving in a round motion or a rounded shape in the body, to discover a straight direction that comes out of that. And so the classic image is of drawing a bow and firing an arrow. And when you draw the bow, you actually bend the bow itself, which puts energy into the bow. And when you let go of the string, the arrow goes straight. So that rounded curve of the bow then results in an issue that is straight. And the writings also tell us that to discharge energy, to issue, to do a fa jin, is like firing an arrow. You aim in one direction and you let go and you let it fire. So, in archery, you bend the bow and you let go and the arrow goes. You don't carry an arrow over someplace and stick it into the target. So one of the things that we're always dealing with when we're trying to express any kind of energy is this need to let go when you do that rather than forcing it. The other thing is that you need to be real clear about what's that point that the straight line is taking off of. If you think about a circle and you draw a tangent from the circle, this is a lot what it's like. If you were swinging something, a rock on a rope, and then you let go of the rope, the rock would go straight along a tangent at the moment that you let go. And so it's a specific point. It's not straight from any place on that circle. It's straight from a specific point. And so as we're doing the form, one of the things you want to pay attention to is where is the specific point where the tangent would launch from at this instant? I'm told at the highest levels you can do that from any place in the body, regardless of what position you're in. At my level, I have to be pretty clear about the specific places that I could be expressing energy in any instant. I couldn't just suddenly do it from my chest or my lower back or something. I'm going to do it from a specific place in my hands and arms or my legs. And there's often more than one. When we do brush knee and we're coming across here, I'm both connecting with somebody on my deflecting hand and letting something come out in the pushing hand. So there can be two places that I'm doing this. And probably if you were more skilled than me, it could be more than two places. So let's do a first third. And what I want you to pay attention to is all the way through the form, at every instant, there ought to be a functional place in the body. There ought to be a place where if at that instant you needed to move something or respond to an energy, you could do that. And I want you to pay attention to where those places might be all the way through the form. Now, some of them are obvious, right? In the punch, it's right here at the front of your knuckles. So, you're not issuing out of the side of your arm. You're not issuing from your back. You're not doing that stuff. Other places, it's less obvious. And so watch as we do a first third. And then we'll talk about some of this. And of course, try to keep that feeling that you just developed doing the bear, of the head top suspended, the bubbling wells open to earth, mind resting in the dantian, moving through the air as if it had the substance of water, and being completely relaxed. And go ahead. So how was that? Our teacher Jane used to always like to say that meditation is the practice of coming back. And so the great thing about the form is it gives us this concrete thing to keep coming back to. So, when you're looking for something like this, it's easy to forget to do it, especially, as the moves get complicated. You can, just not remember that that's what you were paying attention to. And so then make sure you come back. So when you notice that I'm just sort of doing something here, and I'm not really paying attention to where I could be firing the tangent from at any minute, then come back to it and try to figure it out. So let's do one more first third and keep coming back. Go ahead. So I want to look at a couple of the places in the form which might be a little surprising to you as you're doing this. And then I'll turn it over to Beth and she'll do something in this vein. So the first one I want to look at is play guitar. So, we've just come through brush knee, and we worked on brush knee in the Tuesday night session. So if you've got questions about it, go take a look at that. So I've just come through to here. I gather down into my front foot. I open and I close. So when you're doing that from after the brush knee, this is a gathering down, which pulls the rear foot off of the ground, not a moving forward. So make sure that when you get from the brush knee and you're going to play guitar, you feel yourself standing on the front leg, gathering into the front leg, not trying to get the rear leg empty by moving the whole body forward. Jane used to describe this as being like a pelican sitting on a post in like Monterey Bay or something. So when you do this, you want to really be on that post. Then as you open, the waist will open towards the corner, and as you close, it'll come back towards the front. You're not going to get exactly square to the front with your dantian because this move is slightly offset. But you will have a waist turn that goes more towards the corner and back towards the front as you're doing this. And then what's happening in the arms? This is the piece I actually want to pay attention to as I'm doing this. I gather down. As I'm opening, this is like a ward-off in both hands. So what you're going to want to feel is that both arms have this expansive quality, and you'll be paying more attention into the middle of the forearms than you will in the hands. And it's on the outside of the arms expanding, and then as you close, you're going to feel it in the hearts of the palms. So you're going to go from an expansive ward-off energy in the forearms to then as you close and come back towards the front, feeling the inside of your palms. So let's do that a couple times. And the thing that this does is it'll give you a whole bunch of focus. So from the brush knee, Beth's facing the canonical direction, I'm facing the camera. Gather down, so just feel everything going towards the bottom of your left foot. Shift, open, feel the ward-off energy in both arms and the forearms. Close, feel it coming together in the palms. Back to brush knee. Gathering. Open and close. Once more. Gather. As you open, feel the forearms, the outsides of the two forearms. As you close, feel the hearts of the palms coming together. And of course, take a break. While you're doing that, there's all this shifting and turning of the waist. And I'm assuming you're doing all that stuff. So this will just be empty motions with the arms. If you're not, you'll just be going, something like that. So it's got to have this turning and opening and getting that feeling of stretching the rubber band and then releasing and letting everything come back together and that feeling of the hands squeezing together. So another couple times. Go ahead. Back to brush knee. Gathering. Open. Close. Once more. Gather. Forearms. Palms. Great. Now, we're told that every posture has 10,000 applications. And so the focus points that I'm giving you and the ability to see which way the parts of your body are moving is not the one true answer. You could be doing different things with this. A bunch of these moves can also be if someone were to grab you from behind and come around, here, as I'm opening, I'm expanding back there, right? So obviously in that case, again, please. Obviously in this case, as I'm doing this, I'm going to be focused into my back so that that happens rather than the arms, right? And so that's just a, thank you, that's just a, simple example of it, but it tells you that it's not like there's just exactly one right answer. But I can tell you what the wrong answer is. The wrong answer is having it just be arbitrary motions of the hands that are not connected to the whole body, and where you're spacing out and just moving your hands around. Of course, that's a step on the way. We all do that. But, if you can find functional movement in every single one of the gestures, then you're good, even if the functional movement you find might not be the one that I'm describing. And then, I'd like to hear about yours, and it would be good for you to try out the one I'm describing, and we can look at all the possibilities. But the important thing there is that it have a purpose, a meaning, a function. So let's do this one again another couple times, and then we'll look at press into push. So go ahead. Functional. Gather. Ward off in both hands as you open. Hands come together as you close. Once more. Great. So, press into push. So, when we're doing push, a lot of times we're thinking about the push part. And that's when I talked about firing the arrow, not being carrying the arrow across the room. If you're doing press into push and you're really concerned about the pushing part, this is the carrying the arrow across the room to the target rather than letting it go. So you want to be really careful about too much doing with this. The other thing that happens is we get all focused in the hands and the pushing, and we're all like here using our hands. And so I want you to watch the process, the different parts, and there's at least 3 or 4 of them going from press into push. So do this with me, take press. Sitting back as the hands turn down and start to come apart. Sitting down as the palms first drop. Shifting forward as the hands rise. Letting go and feeling the hearts of the palms. So again, press. Once more. Sit back, palms turn down, hands separate. Sit down, elbows drop, hands come close to the body. Shift forward, uprooting, let go, releasing. So the 2 parts that you might not be as aware of are this sitting back and the letting the palms drop part. So when I start out in press, as I sit back here, my hands come apart, and see how they're coming apart. We talk about this being like the prow of a ship. And as I'm doing this, I'm real aware of the outside edges of the arms because I'm splitting some kind of energy. Beth is here, and I'm pushing in towards her, and she's letting that split out here. She's not trying to push me aside. If she pushes me aside, then it's force against force. And if I don't respond with force, that doesn't do her any good. But my push is coming forward, and she's sitting back and causing me to become separated off of her. And so it's here on the outsides of the arm that she wants to be paying attention to. Then, when I've done that, and watch the way my arms are, the arms are far away from me here. I sit down, and the hands start to come closer to the body. So this isn't that as I sit back, the hands come back with me. As I shift forward, the hands go forwarder. I'm moving away from the hands. There's the prow of the ship. And now I let myself sink all the way into the rear root, and I let the hands drop, which actually brought the hands closer to my body. And there's a going down energy at that point. So she splits me, And then here, she's actually dropping and sinking. And what that does is it takes the space out of me. So at this point here, she's paying attention to the palms, and this is the place where everybody wants to push down. I mean, so this one is good. You actually do go down. She's paying attention to the palms there. So I split the person's energy, I sink, and there's a down. Now I uproot them, and then I let go, and they go away. So she splits me, she sinks, which takes the space out of my body, she uproots me, which gets me off of the ground, and then she just lets go to fire the arrow. So the last bit is not a push, the last bit is a let go. And you're going to see that your focus, yeah, dog always likes it when we push hands. You're going to see that your focus changes various places in the hands and arms. So here, you're going to be paying attention to the outside of the forearm. Here, you're going to be paying attention to the heart of the palm. As you uproot, you're going to be feeling the knuckle bony part inside the hand. And as you let go and fire the arrow, you're going to feel the heart of the palm again. So do that with me some from press. So go ahead, sitting back. Prow of the ship, feeling the outside of the forearms. Letting the hands drop, hearts of the palms. Uprooting, bony parts inside the palms. Releasing, hearts of the palms again. Back to press. Once more, press. Separating outside of the forearms, hearts of the palms closing, uprooting bony part inside the hand, releasing hearts of the palms again. So working through the whole form like this will make you actually focus in fine detail on everything you're doing. And there's one other thing I want to say, and then I'll turn it over to Beth, which is this only works if you maintain proper shape, body upright, if you don't become discombobulated and confused. And I remember, when I first started being able to perceive decently what another person was doing in push hands, and sometimes actually manage to release energy without it being a crude shove. A lot of times what I would find was I'd been able to get away from the other person's push, and I could feel the way that they were stuck, but my body wasn't in a place where I could do anything meaningful with it. Things would happen like as I'm going away, my elbows would get behind my side-to-side center line. And then no matter what I'm doing on the bottom, it's not making a clean expression of Tai Chi energy coming out through the hands. And so I used to find that really frustrating. I don't find it frustrating anymore because we haven't done push hands in most of a year. So I probably would continue to find that frustrating if, I had other people here to push with. But, the thing about it is, sure, my perception was good. I found the stuck place in the other person. I was ready to issue, but I had screwed up along the way. I'd let myself lose shape and no longer have that integrity that would let me tap the earth's strength, develop it in the legs directed by the waist, and fire the arrow. And so that was my problem. That's my problem because I'm not continuing to do Tai Chi. I'm letting the force of the moment make me distort. And so that's a limitation in my own skill. So when you're doing this, you really got to have your shape together. This stuff won't work. If I do this like this, then I'm not going to I'm just moving my arms. It has to be within good Tai Chi as you do this. And so that's the challenge with it. Beth will look at this some more. And here we are.
Well, let's do some more of this, and I'm going to bring you my perspective. Lee's kind of the thinking function person. I'm the feeling function person. So I look for feeling to understand where the active point may be and all of that. So I want to look at it in White Crane, going into the movement that takes us to brush knee. We can end up in brush knee, but I really want to look at how we get there, what happens with that arm. So one of the sayings is that you should feel the air as if it had substance, like water. So let's imagine that we're in this miraculous water that we can breathe in and that we can still be rooted in, and feel the arms moving through space as if they were moving through water. So from here, just do this a few times and see what you feel first before I tell you, bring your awareness to certain places, and go. And again. And once more, really paying attention first to how the right arm is moving. And rest your legs. So the very first thing that happens is that this arm starts to drop. You want to drop it in a way that is aquadynamic, if you will, that actually cuts through the water. Think about water has some resistance, and if you just drop it any old way, that is kind of pushing against the water. So you want to find a way that it slices through the water. So the pinky side of the hand will be the cutting edge, as it were. And feel how we're just going to go down to the bottom of the arm swing. So feel that arm, pinky side leading, and how it cuts down through water. So do this a couple times, feeling how it's natural for that pinky side to become the leading edge. I mean, here it's pointing out, so, you know, we could talk about how it got there. That's a different exploration. But from here, you want to feel how the whole arm supports the hand dropping pinky side into the water. Now, you want to make sure that you're still releasing to make this happen and not just doing the arm first. So what we always want to do is have it be internal and be something that we release that starts the movement. So do it with me here, and first we'll try to do release, and then we'll do just arms so that you feel the difference, and then we'll do release again. So release, let go. That starts the arm moving, and it cuts through water, pinky side first, and comes down. Now this time, start with the arm. Just let the arm start going into position and let your body follow what that did. So you can do that way a time or two to feel the difference. Drop it, and then let the body be part of it. Now, I want you to feel it from the inside. You release, and it's the whole body movement that changes the direction of the arm and lets the pinky side become the leading edge. So one more time, feeling it from the inside. You release, the whole arm is softening. Pinky side leads, and it comes down. Okay, rest your legs. We're going to keep doing this on your right leg, so I'll try to remember to keep giving you a break, and I want to talk about what comes next. So I'm going to turn this way so that you see it, and you let go. The arm drops, pinky side first, and when it gets to the bottom, it needs to stay buoyant, and the hand turns palm up. So it's not that I drop to here and then turn my hand. It's that as I'm reaching bottom, you want to hit bottom and let that lead you to the next motion, which turns it palm out. So you can do this with me, and release. Pinky side is dropping, and hits bottom, and you turn, and that turns the palm up. If you don't allow the arm to still have a buoyancy that's found with the elbow, it will just sort of drip out your hand. So check that out, and as you drop your hand, let it just drop. Let it totally hit bottom, and the elbow straightens out. Feel what that does to your hand. And now you have no choice but to turn it palm up if you want the palm to come out. So try it this way, and become aware of the moment that you let the elbow straighten and it just pours down out your fingers, and you lose the buoyancy and sensation that runs through the whole arm. So now this time, you want to notice that place where hitting bottom does not draw away from the elbow stays activated, and that buoys makes the hand lighter, and the hand will turn naturally because you're turning your waist, and the elbow helps it have a lively quality as opposed to the dead quality. Letting that elbow stay alive keeps the hand alive and helps it turn palm out. So shake out your legs, and let's do that whole sequence up to the point where your dantian has turned and your hand has turned palm up. Oh, releasing runs through the arm, keeping the elbow alive, and the hand turns palm up without you having to turn it. And go ahead and do the other thing. Let your hand drop and then turn the hand. Feel the difference. So do it that way again, the external way. And now do it from the inside. Really feel it. Release. Arm moves, slicing through the water, turning, staying alive and buoyant. Rest your legs. So you don't want to forget about the left arm. The left arm is a lot like a ward-off. As it kind of follows your motions, it's going to have that expansive quality. And it's got, as this one is dropping, this one is starting to come up and fill, if you will. And at this point here, it's got this sensation of being like a ward-off. So you want to bring that feeling to it as well. So let's do it together. And as you release, right arm is dropping, left arm is expanding. And when you come around, both hands have been enlivened. Now from here, we're going to change where we're paying attention to again, and now it goes from being that the palm is out, that the thumb is leading, so called the thumb side, not so much the thumb is leading, but this top side of your hand is going to be the leading edge. And it just follows, you want to make this all natural. So the palm turns out, and then the arm is coming up, thumb side leading. So do this a couple times. And just going to play out to where the hand turns out and the arm starts rising. And once more. And notice where your arm has made it to. So Lee and I both have not come up to shoulder height. So rest your legs. It may seem like, and we might have told you to swing the arm and have it come up about shoulder height. We're trying to, aim you in the right direction. But now that you're trying to work on making this happen from the inside, more internally, and involving the arm more as part of your whole being rather than a directive that you're working with, you want to notice how the arm swings up and let it go to where your body takes it, not to a place you've memorized that the arm has to go, it comes up to the shoulder. So let's try that. Release, arm drops, turns, and follows up. Now look at where your arm is. It's probably not anywhere in the realm of your shoulder yet. So do it again and feel that natural place that your turning and swinging leads it to. And now this next time, we're going to put it where we think it needs to go. So you're following along, everything is nice and going well, and then you lift the arm at the end. Feel that empty motion? You can watch me do it once, and you'll see, if I asked you hit a button, the instant it's no longer connected to me and becomes an external movement in my arm, you'll probably all see it. That last little bit is just me lifting. So you want to notice places where you do that. And one of the things about the feeling of it is that it really changes the quality of the arm. So let's do it that way again and go ahead and put it where you think it needs to go at the end. And notice how your awareness of your arm changes when you do that. Where it takes your attention and what the energy does when you do that. So now, just taking it to the place that it naturally comes to using the whole body. From here, it's the left hand that I want you to pay attention to. Left hand turns palm down, and it's like it draws the right fingertips over. So we've talked some, and there's other videos where we've gone over this exact how the arm folds over, and just on Tuesday's class we looked at its fingertips, elbow, palm for coming into the brush knee. So I'm not going to spend time on that now, but what I want you to feel is that as you turn, this hand takes over and drops and brings the other hand with it. And you got this kind of a relationship then. So back to the sensation of you're in water, you want to feel like your palm is displacing the water. And it's sort of that displacement that makes a little bit of a vacuum, a little pull on the other hand so that it gets turned over. Now, let's do it together. And release. Left hand drops, feeling that sensation in your palm and the inside of your fingers. And again. And once more. Now, we're moving from arm to arm in our focus, but it needs to be that it's two ends of the same thing rather than two separate things happening. So try to let your awareness move from one hand to the other without losing the other one. And go. Great. So this feeling that it's one arm doing different things, that you can bring your awareness to one or the other, to a particular place on a hand, this is how you'll know where you're going to fire your arrow. The stuff that Lee was just doing with us is from a sensation standpoint, because when you become more aware of the feeling in your arm, then you will, you don't have to memorize, oh, it has to be here, it has to be here. It becomes the natural way that you want to move. That, I'm not going to move it like this, because I have to do all this extra stuff with my arm. If I'm keeping it connected to my dantian and I'm letting the arm move in a dynamic way that actually changes where those focal points are, they change. I just become aware of them. I'm just following them rather than having to work out a diagram that tells me this place, that place, and all that. So the sensation should always come back to in your center, and your feeling awareness feels all the way out, and so then it can become aware of where you are potentially able to discharge energy. So let's do a first third to close up, and you know what to do now. You're going to have your arms driven by your dantian and moving through the air as if it had substance, like water. I mean, it has substance, but we don't become aware of it. So when we think water, it gives us something to feel. And you can become aware of the different places that are the leading edge as you move through the form. And when you become aware of that, then you'll have a better sense of where those arrow trajectories might occur. Oh, breathing, relaxing, feeling the whole body, and go. So as you go through the form, look for these feelings. And one of the things you'll notice is that when you do the form by moving your arms as the places that you've memorized for it to be, the feeling will be different. So look for the feeling that actually embodies the way that you move, rather than the external places you've memorized to put them. And don't feel bad if you do externalize movements, but you'll start to notice that it feels different. And I think that's a good place to discover a new experience of the form, is from the feeling from the inside. So, see you next time.